a lot of people think that like cancer, like actually going through it is like the worst thing, but you know, you still have a lot of like setbacks afterwards. Like I know I'm gonna get it again eventually because it's like a secondary cancer, and that's always really scary to think about. And the hearing loss, that's really affected my life. And the having one eye and the having no depth perception, that's very frustrating. So I mean, it's definitely changed how life was.
She was actually 4 months old. We knew something was wrong at about 2.5, and we ended up getting sent to Scott Hospital in Temple, and they diagnosed her with retinoblastoma.
It breaks my heart because like knowing that there's like nothing that you can do for it. Like I didn't really go to like the doctor that we went to like expecting great news, but just to know that there's like nothing that you can do to like keep it from dropping.
They did a technique in her eye where they actually would freeze the tumors, called cryo technique, and then they also burned some of the tumors because she had them in both eyes.
With lasers.
With lasers. And then she went through 11 rounds of chemo.
The hearing aids are working great. You know, they help me hear as much as I need to, but you know, it's hard just knowing that it's dropping and like you can't do anything about it.
Her hearing is digressing again, and it wasn't supposed to.
A lot of people would think that it's my eye that I struggle with the most, but it's definitely my hearing. You know, just never like being able to hear like to your full capacity, that's always really frustrating. You know, and with the masks and everything this year, that's definitely holding me back. But you know, at Redwater and everybody at Redwater, they've always been able to accommodate for me, and they still are, and I can't thank them enough for that. So
Her depth perception got better, but her hearing got worse.
Well, when she was in the chemo treatments, there were categories, and in the rare category was hearing loss due to the cyclosporin. We were fortunate because, you know, she lost her left eye, and a lot of people that lose that, you know, they have to deal and they have to adjust, but she never saw it of that eye. The retina was torn off when she was probably in her first week of life, and so she never knew any differently, and that really helped her, you know, because she didn't have to adjust. She's just never known any differently.
well, cancer has taken away my ability to have kids. So whenever I grow up, I have to adopt one, which I'm not mad about. Like I've always wanted to adopt a kid, so, but that still kind of hurts to think about. There are certain jobs that I can and can't do. Like I can't work in a loud environment. I can't work somewhere where I have to know every single little thing and hear every single little thing, if that makes sense. So I definitely think there's going to be some things that it's going to affect, but I'm just still very excited to see what the future holds for me.
She's always been super smart, and they've actually done studies on retinoblastoma patients, and their IQs tend to be super high, and hers was, and she was an early reader, and not even due to her disability, more to her personality. You know, she was bossy and she was in charge, and kids really looked to her to see what to do. And so the interesting part of her disability is, you know, different sides of your brain control different things. And all of her fine motor skills, so her writing and her cutting and her things of that nature, all are done with her left hand because her right eye, she's right eye dominant. But when she dribbles a basketball or she does large motor skills, that's all right-handed. So she's kind of an ambidextrous at that point.
She's adapted.
One of like the worst moments was probably whenever I got to 7th and 8th grade, and that's whenever, you know, basketball started to get really serious. And I just remember getting really frustrated because I could never hear the plays, and I couldn't hear the coaches, and it's just always been a struggle.
The main part of that was communicating with her, because in a gym, the noise is just noise. Yeah. And you would tell her not to do something, and she didn't hear you, so she'd go straight and do it.
And it doesn't matter if she was standing in front of you, she still couldn't hear inside that gym. Another thing that we noticed, and this was about the time she chose to get out of athletics, is that as the speed of the game and the strength of the other players and the ball was coming at her faster or things of that nature, she didn't. She it took her longer to adjust to that. She didn't adjust as quickly as someone without the disability. I sent an email and to all of her teachers to let them know, she's not going to hear. Put the captions on the television. And I requested, I said, if they're comfortable with it, if they would wear the clear face shields that we're allowed to wear, so that she can still see their lips, even though the sound is disoriented. And the teachers have gone above and beyond. But yes, it has been a real struggle. She struggles anyway, hearing in the classroom, and that's really her largest impairment. But the mask and the corona has been terrible. And when we go somewhere, or she tries to order something to eat, or she'll often show them her hearing aids, and often they'll pull it down to talk to her.
Like, it's always there. There's just some moments where I do things wrong because I thought I heard one thing and it was something different. I'm in powerlifting, which I really love, just being able to go after school and just relieve stress by lifting and everything. I'm an officer in FCCLA, and I love doing that, just being able to help the community. I'm also an officer in HOSA, which I love being because, I'm going into the forensics field, and it kind of has a little bit to do with that, and it's fun to be in. Camp Dreamcatcher is probably my favorite place on this earth. Going there and just feeling the support of everybody there, there's no feeling like it. I was also on the news a couple of times for Camp Dreamcatcher where I told my story, and that was really exciting. I just try to inspire people with it, like, as much as possible.